Losing a loved one is it's incredibly tough. And the absolute last thing you want to deal with is a mountain of confusing financial logistics, right? Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to dive right into a little known but super important benefit, the Social Security lump sum death payment. We're going to get you totally clear on how this works, giving you that sense of direction when it really matters most.
$255. Now you're probably thinking, that's extremely specific and honestly kind of modest. And you'd be right, but this one-time payment is really just intended to give a quick bit of immediate financial relief right after the passing of a spouse or a parent. Let's look at what this actually means for folks in the real world. Take Emma, for example. She's a recent widow who lost her husband unexpectedly when he was just 55. She shared her experience with a great nonprofit called Wings for Widows, pointing out that, while this benefit is definitely not a massive windfall, every little bit of support matters. It can really help offset those pressing, immediate expenses like funeral arrangements, right when families need it the most. To make sure this process doesn't add to your cognitive overload today, we've broken our explainer down into 6 really manageable steps. We'll cover eligibility requirements, the step-by-step application process, common mistakes and how to avoid them, the timeline and what to expect, how to seek help, and finally, real-life impact and future legislation. Let's jump in.
Section 1. Eligibility requirements. Who qualifies?
So first things first, who actually gets this money? Well, to even trigger the payment, the deceased must have worked long enough to qualify for Social Security in the first place. Usually, that means they earned 40 credits over their lifetime, or at the very least, they worked for 1.5 years in the 3 years right before they passed.
Assuming those work credits are there, the Social Security Administration actually follows a pretty strict order of priority. First in line, the surviving spouse who was living in the exact same household. If there wasn't a spouse in the household, the benefit can go to a surviving spouse living apart, but only if they're already eligible for benefits on the deceased record. And if there's no eligible spouse at all, then it goes to eligible dependent children. Think unmarried kids under 18 or up to 19 if they're still in high school, or children who became disabled before age 22.
Now, here's a really common misconception, that absolutely anyone who was married to the deceased can just go ahead and claim this. But experts are crystal clear here. Divorced ex-spouses are strictly ineligible for the specific lump sum benefit from a former partner's record. No exceptions. And that's true even if they qualify for other types of ongoing survivor benefits.
Moving on to Section 2, Step-by-Step Application Process, Taking Action.
All right, so here is your 3-step action plan. And surprisingly, unlike almost everything else these days, you actually cannot apply for this death benefit online. Yep, you heard that right. So, Step 1, gather your necessary documents. Step 2, contact the SSA directly by calling their national toll-free number or a local office. And Step 3, complete Form SSA-8, which you'll do right alongside an SSA representative. But wait, before you pick up the phone to make that call, you've got to make sure you have some critical documents ready to go. You are going to need the deceased's Social Security number and, this is a big one, an original or certified copy of the death certificate. They literally need to see the real thing, no photocopies. You're also going to need your own ID, your birth certificate, a marriage certificate if you're the spouse, some recent tax documents like W-2s, and of course your bank routing and account numbers so they can set up that direct deposit for you.
Section 3. Common mistakes and how to avoid them. A reality check.
So there's a pretty massive disconnect here between the official guidance and what actually happens on the ground. If you check the official SSA website, it literally says an appointment is not required. But trust us, relying on a walk-in is a huge mistake. Doing that could easily cost you hours of waiting in a lobby, and there's absolutely zero guarantee you'll even be seen. A lot of local offices simply aren't equipped to handle impromptu claims anymore.
In fact, real folks on Reddit are warning people about this all the time. Take this insight from user AreaofQ, who points out that thanks to staffing issues and policy shifts, the days of walk-in business at the SSA are basically over, especially for claims. So the absolute best thing you can do? Always call and schedule an appointment ahead of time. That way, you ensure a dedicated claims specialist is actually there to process your Form SSA-8.
Next up, Section 4, Timeline and what to expect. Managing expectations.
Okay, let's talk timeline, because knowing this brings a lot of comfort. The clock officially starts ticking on the exact date of death. Once you've got your application successfully submitted and verified, you can usually expect the direct deposit to hit your account within about 2 to 4 weeks. Not too bad, right? But here is the most critical takeaway for this whole section. You have an absolute hard deadline of exactly 2 years from the date of death to file your claim. Miss that 2-year mark, and you're looking at an automatic denial.
Section 5.
How to seek help. You are not alone.
If you get stuck, remember, beyond the SSA's official 1-800 number in their TTY line, you've got some other powerful options. Nonprofits, like Wings for Widows we mentioned earlier, offer fantastic guidance and community support. You could also chat with financial advisors who specialize in survivor benefits. And hey, if you run into severe bureaucratic delays that are just driving you crazy, don't be afraid to reach out to your local congressional representative's office. You'd be surprised, but they can sometimes help unblock the whole system for you.
And our final section, Section 6, Real-Life Impact and Future Legislation, the Horizon.
Now, impartially speaking, there is currently a pretty big push for change happening. Legislation currently on record, like the Social Security Survivor Benefits Equity Act of 2025 led by Senator Peter Welch, points out a rather stark reality. Average funeral costs have completely skyrocketed, going from about $700 back in the 1950s to anywhere between $4,000 and $7,000 today. Yet that $255 death benefit, it has remained totally stagnant.
So what this proposed bill aims to do is take that $255 payout and bump it up to $2,900 beginning in 2026. The bill also wants to tie any future increases directly to inflation. The whole idea there is to just better reflect the true, real-world economic burden families are facing today instead of relying on a number from over half a century ago.
To wrap up this explainer, we really just want to leave you with this thought. Preparation brings peace of mind. Gathering your documents early and knowing your timeline can literally take so much weight off your shoulders during a heavy time. Just a quick reminder to always verify your specific eligibility and consult directly with official Social Security resources or a trusted financial advisor for personalized advice. We really hope you take what we've talked about today and feel confident in applying it, because it leaves us with one final, important question to ask. If the unexpected happened tomorrow, are you and your loved ones truly prepared to navigate the system?